associated with it, and so it causes these snow bands to form, and that's what we've been seeing happening today. So where there has been lake effect snow has been parts of western New York, up into parts of Ohio, like Cleveland, over into Michigan. So lake effect snow is certainly something you can deal with this time of the year in this part of the U.S. Of course, we certainly don't deal with that here, but there is the possibility that as we go into tomorrow, they could still be dealing with some well below freezing temperatures and the possibility of more snow. I mean, if you look at this area south and east of Chicago, over into the mid-Atlantic, could be seeing temperatures with this system running about 25 degrees below normal. So there's this trough that is set up over the U.S. and because of that trough, you've got a dip in the jet stream. This is what is contributing to it being so ridiculously cold for us. Notice on Wednesday, as we look at our futurecast here, you see the possibility of more lake effect snow developing across the Great Lakes, and that could once again get into parts of western New York, even into New England and Canada. But then we look at the southern branch of the jet stream here, and there's going to be a disturbance moving towards us on Thursday. That's when we have that possibility of some rain back in the forecast for us by Thursday night. But in the meantime, even though we're not dealing with snow, it is still bitterly cold outside. We have already hit freezing in Jasper, 41 in Birmingham, and 45 in Anniston. So already some 30s across North Alabama. When you walk out the door tomorrow morning, make sure you have the warm winter coat, gloves, scarf, hat. You can go all out. And still want to have the sunglasses as well because it is going to be still very sunny in the morning. It doesn't look like we're going to be seeing rain back in the forecast until possibly Thursday night at the earliest. But we were just talking about that lake effect snow, and it is across parts of the Northeast this evening and the northeastern part of the state where they're seeing their first significant lake effect snowstorm of the season. And it's a big one. Check out these scenes from Ohio and New York as cold air comes down from Canada. Like we were just mentioning, it's moving over the unfrozen Great Lakes, so they're not quite freezing just yet, but this helps to result in multiple days of heavy snowfall downwind. At least 5 to 8 inches of snow are expected across the upper Midwest, New York, and New England. More than 3.3 million people are under lake effect snow warnings and will continue to be under these warnings until at least tomorrow. So no snow in the forecast for us, but it's still going to be below freezing and some spots already hitting that freezing mark this evening. Meteorologist Matt Daniel and Mickey Ferguson join us now with some safety tips on how you can prepare your home for the cold tonight.
Hey, Mickey.
Hey.
It's going to get cold tonight.
Yes, it is. Some of the coldest air we've seen of the season, and certainly coldest for the next 7 days, down into the 20s in many locations.
Yeah, so we just want to make sure you're ready for it. It's almost December. It happens a lot, but just always remember the 4 Ps.
People, pets, pipes, and plants. Now, I don't know that we'll necessarily have to wrap the pipes tonight, but we just remember those 4 Ps, especially the sensitive plants and the pets. And, you know, check on the elderly maybe in your neighborhood. Make sure everybody's nice and warm.
That's right. So we've got a way to prepare for the cold. We got a check mark. If it's in the 30s or colder, obviously, we want to make sure our pets stay inside so they can stay warm. But when you start hitting the mid to upper 20s, lower 30s, we also recommend people to cover up those sensitive plants. And then when it's a hard freeze, we're talking about a long duration of freezing temperatures.
Maybe 12 hours or so with sub-freezing temperatures, or if it gets into the teens, something like that.
Yeah.
That's when you need to wrap those pipes. Tonight's a situation where we could be basically in that middle range of 20s to low 30s.
That's right, and we just want to make sure you stay safe. Of course, you may have a space heater, so here's a few tips to keep you safe and warm.
Place the heater on the floor. It's got to be level. Make sure it's not going to tip over. Keep it about 3 feet away from anything that could be flammable.
That's right, and it's also very important to plug it directly into an outlet. Never plug these things in extension cords. Sometimes that's where you get those fires starting up, and we don't need those surprises. And also just make sure they're turned off if you're not using it, if you're leaving the room, leaving your house, or before you fall asleep. So just be safe with that. And we're also looking at tomorrow morning. We got your checklist getting ready for tomorrow.
You won't need an umbrella, fortunately, but the coat, gloves, and sunglasses for later on. Should be a sunny day, but it's going to be chilly, just downright freezing cold in the morning.
That's right. So just make sure you tune in tomorrow morning on Good Day Alabama. We're going to be tracking the cold, but of course, we'll be tracking those rain chances for the end of the week.
Yeah, later on this week, we need the rainfall. We'll take a look at our best rain chances along with the rest of the gang coming up tomorrow on Good Day.
Big shout out to Matt and Mickey Foygeson there. Apparently, I was from New England for a moment there earlier in the show. Well, not only are knowing the 4 Ps important, but it's also important to know what the signs and symptoms are of hypothermia. A family physician in Trussville points out that it only takes a few minutes for hypothermia to set in when you're in cold weather, especially if you're not dressed for it. Your brain function, heart, and other internal organs can start to get impacted. Doctors say it's important to make sure your body temperature doesn't drop below 95 degrees and watch for these warning signs.
Symptoms of pain in your extremities, especially like we said, the trigger ones are fingertips, your nose, your toes, numbness, tingling, burning. You may even start to have some swelling. You can start having blisters, and then of course skin changes. Your tips may be white at first, they may turn blue, they may even look a little bit pinker or redder in the beginning, but you'll go through all of those changes before you start to have, be in some serious danger.
It's also recommended you carry extra blankets and other cold weather gear in case you get stranded on the side of a road. And a reminder that warming stations are open for those of you who need shelter from the cold tonight. That includes the one at the Jimmy Hale Mission. The city of Birmingham partnered with the Jimmy Hale Mission on 2nd Avenue to open it up last night and tonight, and it will remain open until 7 a.m. tomorrow. Food is being provided. And if you want to help those in need this winter, the city of Birmingham is also collecting supplies. We're told there's still a critical need for bottled water, and they're also looking for warm clothes, blankets, hand warmers, and more. You can drop off the donations at Boutwell Auditorium today through Thursday from 7:30 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon. So if you didn't catch them today, catch them again for tomorrow. But here's some good news on the overall drought situation in Alabama, and specifically a large wildfire that broke out recently in Tuscaloosa County. Brookwood city leaders tell WBRC the fire that consumed around 160 acres is completely out. There's no threat to homeowners thanks to a good dose of rain in recent days. Alabama forestry officials say they plan to take a look later this week just to make sure there's no longer a threat. Beyond Tuscaloosa County, there is still a word of caution. Several counties, according to Balsey Butler, are not out of the woods.
So if you draw a line like from Chambers County over to Chilton, Tuscaloosa, Pickens, north, that northern part of the state has not seen as much precipitation. That's why the fire alert still remains in effect for a number of counties.
The Alabama Forestry Commission says the official cause of the Brookwood fire remains under investigation. And in 30 seconds, we're headed up to Coleman, where Christmas is already in full swing. We'll be right back. Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. As many of you prepare to get Christmas trees and other holiday decor out, you may want to take a road trip to Christmas at the Grotto. Meteorologist Fred Hunter, aka Mr. Absolutely Alabama himself, has more on this special event up in Coleman.
Welcome to our first real Christmas edition, I guess, of Weather Extra, and we're kicking off the season in a great way. We've got Roger Steele here with us. Roger's with the Ave Maria Grotto in Coleman. And Roger, thank you so much, number one, for joining us. I know this is a busy season at the Grotto.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about the history of the school and the Grotto and kind of how it came to be. It really is a national, a worldwide treasure for us all.
It is. It's a Benedictine monastery here in Coleman. It was founded in the early 1890s, right? And the history of the grotto is one of the early monks, one of the first generation monks, Brother Joseph Zodel came, and he was 15 years old and wanted to be a priest, but decided to stay a lay brother. And he had an extreme talent in working with materials, and so he started building these small buildings and structures early part of the 20th century. Eventually, the park that I'm in now was established in 1934. Brother Joseph was still alive, and he worked on these structures for roughly 55 years. Died in 1961, but left a legacy not only for St. Bernard and Coleman, Alabama, but really for North Alabama and really for the Southeast region as well. So it's just something really special if anyone out there has never come up here to see it.
And over your shoulder there, we can see one of the structures. And I'll tell you, you know, I like all parts of the grotto. And I've had it said to me, and I've said, if you go back again and again, you see something different every time. But talk about that structure that's just over your shoulder there that we can see, because there really is a feeling of peace about that particular area.
Yes, very much so. There's 125 plus structures of buildings, primarily religious buildings that Brother Joseph built, you know, through the years. What's behind me is the main grotto, the Ave Maria grotto, which has the Virgin Mary and the Christ child or baby Jesus. Also has a statue of Saint Benedict, who is basically the founder of the Benedictine monasteries throughout the world, and also his sister, Saint Scholastica. And this is an altar as well, so sometimes they will, the school here, there's a prep school, they will hold mass here. So yes, it's just an absolutely special place, peaceful, serene place where you see all of these structures that he built, but also it's set really in the Alabama woodlands, you know, right here off of 8 Mile Creek in Coleman, Alabama. So you really get the best of both worlds. Your Brother Joseph, what he built to worship the Lord, but also nature as well, seeing what God has created. So it's really on two different levels. It's a wonderful place.
And now the grotto's been there for years, but something you just started doing in recent years is you decorate the grotto, hence your visit with us today for Christmas. And it really is, it's great any time of the day or the year, but at Christmas time, wow, it's just special.
Well, the Ave Maria Grotto will be open for 15 more nights from 5 to 9 p.m. around the weekends. For more information, be sure to visit their website at avemariagrotto.com. And we'll be right back with more First Alert Weather Extra. Oh boy, okay. Man, I don't know. Oh my God. Oh, it's so good. Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. The temperatures behind me right now are not what the temperatures are currently, but what we are forecasting for tomorrow morning. Widespread 20s. So tonight we're going to have clear skies and winds are going to calm down. Temperatures are going to continue to plummet overnight. That's just a recipe for a very frigid start for tomorrow. So as Matt and Mickey were telling us, make sure you have that winter coat when you walk out the door in the morning, and that you also have on a nice pair of gloves too, because that cold is going to hit you the minute you walk outside. Now by the afternoon, we should eventually get back into the 50s, but 50s even for highs is still below average for late November. There's still going to be plenty of sunshine tomorrow. I think eventually late in the afternoon we could begin to see a few clouds coming in. That's all ahead of our next big thing, a chance of rain back in the forecast, but Thursday is the last day of November, and you can see we just haven't had a lot of rain in November. What I'm showing you right here is the average rainfall for Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, and Anniston each November, typically around 4.5 inches. But look at what has actually happened. Haven't even gotten an inch of rain recorded at the Birmingham airport, and Tuscaloosa about halfway to where we need to be, only about 2 inches, and only about an inch of rain in Anniston. So still hurting for some rainfall with extreme drought conditions in place. We do have some hope of rain in the forecast, but it's not necessarily going to totally erase the drought. I think our best rain coverage right now could possibly be Friday morning, Thursday overnight, and into Saturday as well, before we see a few lingering showers possible on Sunday, maybe even early Monday. So let's look at some of that high resolution data showing us dry to start on Thursday. This one is trying to nudge in a few showers into West Alabama in the afternoon, but I really think most of us are probably not going to be seeing rain until Thursday night into early Friday morning. So some of the beneficial rain could fall Thursday overnight into early Friday, and then by the time you get past the morning commute, possibly drying out as we get into Friday afternoon before we see a secondary round of rain going into Saturday. Now, if you're not staying in town this weekend, maybe you're heading east on I-20 to go to Atlanta to see the SEC championship. There is going to be that possibility for some wet weather over there as well. So I would pack the rain gear if you're going to be doing any tailgating before or after the game, which kicks off at 3 p.m. as the Tide take on the Dogs. But looking at that wet weather for Saturday, possibly starting off with some rain in the morning before more rain shifts over into Georgia. So it could be a little bit messy as we get into your Saturday before we see that axis of rain shifting more so to the south and east as we go into Sunday. So we'll be keeping an eye on things as always, even if you're traveling over into Georgia. Make sure you check in on that WBRC First Alert weather app. But we here at WBRC are proud to continually give back to the community this holiday season as we partner with the Salvation Army for their annual Angel Tree. Here to talk to us more about that is Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt.
Yeah, very excited to be here in Trussville at the Chick-fil-A, one of many Chick-fil-A locations around the area where you can drop off gifts for the Fox 6 Gifts for Kids Salvation Army Angel Tree program. Always a tradition for us, and we're always so honored to be a part of it. And we just can't thank you so much. We've already had so many donations already, helping make the holiday so special for a child. Want to bring in Major Karen Lyle. Always great seeing you, Major Lyle. And so far, I mean, we've already seen so much generosity.
Absolutely. We are just, every year I'm just overwhelmed by people coming in and just doing wonderful things for their community members that might not have as much this year. And so we've had more than half of our angels taken this year already, and we're still going.
Hey, and we got to get the other half, right? We got to get that other half. So you need to come on out. You can drop off gifts. If you don't pick up an angel, you can still drop off gifts, right?
Absolutely. You can drop them off at our location off of Finley Boulevard. You can come by and do it online if you'd like to. Stay at home and just get a gift for a child. We have an online registry at birminghamsalvationarmy.org. So go ahead and do that. It'll be shipped right to us. We'll take it right to the warehouse and put it in the right bag.
So many smiles for so many kids this holiday season, and you make it happen, and we just can't thank you enough for all you do in helping just make Christmas so special. And we have angel trees. I just want to mention also, we were at the shops at Grand River last.
In the Galleria Mall.
In the Galleria Mall, so you can pick up an angel there. Well, here on Weather Extra, Major Karen, I just want to talk a little bit about just the importance of what you guys do during weather patterns like this, when we're dealing with some significant cold. And you and I were having a discussion about what if someone's in need maybe the air's not working, they don't have a loved one to turn to, they can turn to you guys. You guys are very proactive in that and ensuring everyone has a warm shelter.
Absolutely. We don't want anybody to go without during these times of cold weather, especially in the South. And so we have case managers ready to go to help people. If they would just call our location, if they don't want to, they might want somebody else to call on their behalf. We especially want to look out for seniors at this time of year to make sure that they have everything that they need, and the Salvation Army is ready to help.
So if they need to reach out to you guys, just tell us ways in which they can do that.
They can just call the regular Salvation Army number, the hotline number, and if they just look online, they'll be able to get that information.
Thanks so much for that, Wes. Certainly a great cause there. Well, as we head to the break here, Chin Chiolo says that this time of the year, cherry buds aren't at risk. So we're going to talk about that coming up on Weather Extra in the days ahead. Meantime, we'll have a final check on your forecast right after the break. Well, before we send you off into your Friday evening, we want to take one last look at temperatures. Honestly, I hope if you're at home watching us right now, you aren't going out again this evening. 'Cause check it out. Some spots like Jasper and Coleman already down to freezing. 32 in Coleman, 30 in Jasper. Getting close in Gadsden, checking in at 33 degrees. We're still seeing some 40s areas to the south, 41 here in Birmingham and 42 in Tuscaloosa. But those temperatures will be dropping quickly. There's still just a little bit of a breeze lingering right now now, but that is going to be fading away as we get into the overnight hours. So clear skies, calm winds, boom, 20s for tomorrow morning. So have all of that winter wear when you walk out the door. The only thing you'll need to leave behind, the snow boots, if you even have a pair living here in Alabama. But we should be mostly dry on Thursday. I think we could begin to see a chance of rain Thursday night as we see a rainmaker moving in that could bring some wet weather on Friday, possibly some more scattered showers on Saturday before rain begins to taper off Sunday and Monday, and more so areas to the south and east. At least not going to be as cold over the weekend, but you can check back in with Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt and myself tonight for an update on the forecast at first at 9, and join us here on Weather Extra every weeknight at 6:30. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Have a safe, happy, and warm Tuesday evening.